Hi everyone, so welcome back to Rebirth TV. I am Stacy Benton. Just want to really thank you for joining in and watching the videos. We are actually producing content at a very rapid rate, so I'm excited about that. And want to encourage you to really go back and watch the other videos because we are building a foundational premise here to help you continue your healing journey from your complex trauma, and just giving you that support system, that encouragement, that motivation, that inspiration, and that education so that you can transform your complex trauma into so you can transform your complex trauma and to become your most authentic self or version of yourself. Excuse me. So one of the things on the videos, if you will see, is that, hey, sometimes I may mess up a little, but it's okay. Because part of this is that as I am growing, you are growing, so we're growing together. But as also a victim of complex trauma, I do understand that you can get bogged down in perfectionism, kind of like be a little obsessive, and have high levels of anxiety around just making simple mistakes. So I just want you to feel comfortable on the channel, to know that you're not alone in your healing journey, that you do have a support system here. So we're in our Rebirth a Gift series, and what we're doing is that we are building a foundation when it comes to just helping you, creating a system to help you actually heal from your complex trauma. Right now, we're still in the month of April, so it is Child Abuse Awareness Month, and we are going back to the basic, which is conception, and that's just the beginning of where your trauma happens. Right now, we are focusing on childhood trauma or childhood abuse. I've actually had some other videos, well, other content. There's multiple videos that I really want to encourage you to go back and listen to, because they would definitely be insightful for you and informative and encouraging. So what I'm going to do here is that I just hope that you're having a great day. I hope that it's a beautiful day. I know that, are you ready for the summer? Because I don't know, I'm a little leaning towards summer, not summer. Thankfully, it's not too warm and humid. And if you are from Louisiana, shout out, because I know that humidity is one of a kind. But definitely in Georgia, the weather is pretty nice. It's have some really crisp, cool, kind of dry air. It's not so humid, and just really just enjoying the day. I'm enjoying just life, and having a sense of peace surrounding just existing and being happy, just being myself, just feeling happy with just how much growth I've also undertaken myself. And one of the reasons why I am encouraging you and pushing you to continue to go through your healing journey is because years ago, I would never have imagined just doing a channel or a YouTube in any sort, because I was always a very reserved person. But part of that was as a result of not my true authentic self. So part of your healing journey is that you will start to uncover and rediscover who you really were, and be able to mend those pieces back together so that you can become the most authentic version of who you always envision yourself to be. And it is a process. So despite of where you're at in your journey, I just want to encourage you to keep going forward, keep moving forward, because there is light at the end of the tunnel. And one thing I could definitely say that was vital to my healing as well was educating myself on different topics when it comes to psychological topics. I've been doing a lot of just personal research in different areas, just so when it comes to mental health, emotional intelligence, or just rebuilding your psychological mindset. And that is really interesting because I remember in school when I was in my undergrad, I really considered a degree in psychology, but decided to go a different route. I chose business. And however, psychology never really just disappeared, like that interest in the topic, and never knew or realized it would be so vital to my healing journey and recovery, and just being able to catapult my life into a completely different direction. Part of it was definitely spiritual growth. Um, and but also part of that was definitely just educating myself and combining it with spiritual growth. So self-awareness is very key. And the reason why I do these psychological videos on different topics is because it just gives you a premise to really put a word or uh, identification when it comes to your own experiences. So we were going over personality disorders, like borderline personality disorder, just different topics around that. We also did bipolar disorder. So this is going to be an ongoing topic that I will be exploring, and just creating content around that, because I think it's very vital to your healing journey, because it's very easy to run from yourself, if that makes sense. It's very easy to say, well, because I know there's an underlining, probably, because of my trauma as a child, there's some underlying issues that I'm afraid to face or to expose within myself. And psychology is a huge way, because it forces you to really take a closer look and examine, well, was I experiencing this? Did I experience that? And it's putting a word to your feeling. So now you can go and research and study more on those topics. So that's why it's very important that I am having an educational piece to the Rebirth TV, but also to the content and to the videos. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to shift a little and just go back to our topic that we were discussing, which we were talking about personality disorders, as I mentioned before. And one thing on the other video, I was examining bipolar disorder and just the different types. So that will definitely be on the previous video. So again, I encourage you to watch all the videos as they come out. You can watch them several times, because repetition creates a different wave pattern in your mind. It creates a different pathway of neurons. And as you bring in information, the more that you're able to analyze your own feelings, your own thought processes. So it's very important. This is very vital and critical to your recovery and also your healing journey. So let me just go down here. Again, we are examining or going over this article at verywellmind.com. They have extremely great content, and these articles are all by mental health professionals or individuals that work within that particular field, psychological and mental health field. So it will definitely be insightful for you to go back and take a look at the article in more detail. And I'm just going to focus here when it's talking about manic episodes, because manic episodes is just where there is a difference in actually how you are processing your emotional state. So you can have depressive episodes as bipolar, so there's bipolar depression symptoms. But the manic episodes, I'm going to click here before I go to the bipolar depression symptoms. is so that you can see that bipolar mania is also an aspect of bipolar disorder. So how bipolar mania is diagnosed is that so if you're experiencing reduced need to sleep, racing thoughts, inflated self-esteem, easily distracted, all of these could be symptoms of a type of mania. Now, it may not be just bipolar disorder, but it also just can be a result of your trauma. So that's why I'm bringing in these different mental health topics or diagnosis, things of that nature, so you can do a in-depth comparison of how you are feeling, because one of the enormous aspects of this journey is journaling. So I want you to get a journal today if you don't have one. If you do have one, I want you to start using it today. That's an assignment. Start using it today and document or journal how are you feeling. And then I want you to think is that where there is a trigger emotionally from childhood that you may not be aware of. So journaling, if it could just be just journaling how you feel, what happened that day. It's going to force you to, now when you go back and read it, you're going to say, okay, well, what was I experiencing then? Was I having any type of issues around mania? Did I feel like, was I not sleeping good that night? Was I just feeling myself? I'm very narcissistic, inflated self-esteem, or just racing thoughts. I can't get a grasp of how I'm thinking. Like my thoughts are just running. Have I, was there issues with focus and just being able to focus on an assignment or something at work? So I want you to document those experiences, because journal those experiences is because it's going to help you. This is not specifically for you to diagnose yourself, but it's just to see the pattern. Okay. So that if you do see a pattern there, you can actually talk it over with one of your advocates that we talked about, a trained mental health professional, a spiritual leader, or a trauma coach. All right. So you want to be utilizing one of those at least, because this is going to be an individual that you're going to take what you're feeling. And now you're going to be able to have someone that will help you unpack that. And if you do have an actual diagnosis of bipolar disorder, that's what we're discussing now, then I really want to encourage you to continue your therapy, because the diagnosis is just part of the journey. But it's not the end. Okay. So the more that you uncover and expose what you're feeling, how you're feeling, why you're feeling that way, the more effective your therapy is going to be. So if you have a diagnosis, I want to definitely encourage you to continue your therapy. Don't stop when you feel some wins or you feel yourself feeling better. I want you to continue it, because as you go through your journey of dealing with your complex trauma, you're going to start to see more times where there's like you're coming up out of the water, meaning that you're getting a grasp of fresh air. It's like your mind is getting a release. All right. So just keep that in mind. So what we're going to do, we're going to scroll down here. Bipolar mania, or simply mania, is a phase of bipolar disorder. It is characterized by sustained periods of abnormally elevated or irritable moods, intense energy, racing thoughts, and other extreme and exaggerated behaviors. So that's anything that you while you're journaling, you want to look at, what is something else I did weird today? Was it something else that made me just feel weird, or not myself? Okay. A manic episode may be interspersed within periods of depression, during which an individual could experience symptoms such as fatigue, sadness, and hopelessness. So I'm going to end that there, but I'll be back. Thank you.